Arthur Morgan, the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption 2, is a man shaped by the brutal world of the Wild West and his loyalty to the Van der Linde gang. Throughout his life, he learned to survive in an environment where the law is weak and violence is the rule. However, as the story unfolds, Arthur begins to question his own actions and the decisions of his leader, Dutch van der Linde. He faces an internal struggle between loyalty to the gang and the growing sense that his days of crime and betrayal are coming to an end. As he battles a terminal illness, Arthur seeks redemption, trying to find a way to leave a positive legacy, even knowing his time is running out. His journey is marked by regret, reflection, and ultimately a desperate search for redemption. Dutch van der Linde, the charismatic leader of the gang, is a man of grand ideas and dreams of freedom. He believes he is fighting for a just cause, trying to protect his family from the growing influence of civilization and the law. However, as the game progresses, Dutch's actions become increasingly questionable as his idealism turns into paranoia and his judgment begins to falter. His relentless pursuit of one last big score that would ensure everyone's freedom begins to reveal the cracks in his leadership and the true impact of his decisions. Dutch, once a beloved and respected leader, gradually becomes a tragic figure, consumed by his own ego and his inability to accept that the world is changing around him. John Marston, one of the oldest members of the Van der Linde gang, is the protagonist of the first Red Dead Redemption and a central figure in the sequel. John struggles to balance his loyalty to the gang with the desire to build a better life for his family. He is tired of the outlaw life and begins to realize that the gang is disintegrating under Dutch's unstable leadership. Throughout the game, John strives to distance himself from his criminal past and secure a future for his wife, Abigail, and his son, Jack. John's relationship with Arthur is complex, full of mutual respect but also tensions, as they both try to find a path in a world that seems to be falling apart around them. Sadie Adler, initially introduced as a grieving widow after the brutal murder of her husband, transforms into one of the gang's fiercest and most loyal allies. Driven by an insatiable desire for revenge, Sadie overcomes her personal tragedies and emerges as a fearless warrior, ready to face any enemy that crosses her path. Her evolution throughout the game is marked by growing independence and a deep bond of friendship with Arthur Morgan. Sadie refuses to be defined by the tragedy she suffered and instead fights tooth and nail to survive and protect those she considers friends. Her thirst for justice, combined with her lethal skills, makes her one of the most memorable characters in the game. Micah Bell is one of the most treacherous and violent members of the Van der Linde gang. From the beginning, Micah shows a propensity for violence and betrayal, always looking for ways to increase his own power and influence within the gang. He quickly becomes a divisive figure, gaining Dutch's trust while sowing discord among the other members. Micah represents everything wrong with the outlaw life: greed, disloyalty, and an insatiable thirst for power. His true nature is revealed as the game progresses, culminating in his final betrayal, which leaves the gang on the brink of destruction. Micah Bell is a dark reminder of how corruption can poison even the noblest ideals. Charles Smith, one of the most honorable members of the gang, is known for his skill in tracking and hunting, as well as his unshakable integrity. Half Native American and half African American, Charles has lived a life marked by prejudice and discrimination, but he has never lost his dignity or sense of justice. He is a reliable and loyal ally, always willing to help others and protect the innocent. Charles often acts as the moral compass of the gang, questioning Dutch's decisions and providing unconditional support to Arthur Morgan. His ability to navigate between two worlds and his strong code of honor make him a crucial character in Arthur's quest for redemption. Hosea Matthews is the elder advisor of the gang and Dutch's right-hand man. With his vast experience and wisdom, Hosea serves as a fatherly figure to Arthur and other gang members, always offering advice and strategies. He shares Dutch's initial idealism, but maintains a healthy skepticism that leads him to question his leader's more impulsive decisions. Hosea believes in a life of freedom but understands that the gang's time is running out. His death is a devastating blow to the gang and marks the beginning of the end for the group's cohesion and stability. Hosea's absence leaves a void that is never filled, showing how much he was the true heart and soul of the Van der Linde gang. Javier Escuella is a Mexican gunslinger known for his loyalty to Dutch and his combat skills. He joins the gang hoping to find purpose and a new life, far from the injustices and persecutions he suffered in his homeland. Javier believes in Dutch's vision of a future of freedom and equality and follows his leader with devotion. However, as the gang begins to disintegrate, Javier finds himself torn between his loyalty to Dutch and the reality of growing corruption within the group. His loyalty is tested to the limit, and he must confront his own choices as the dream he followed for so long begins to crumble around him.